Hi, welcome to another Great Cat Basic demonstration. This one's going to focus on using and installing version 9.700 and future versions of Great Cat Basic IDE and the toolset. Let me just get straight in. Look, I've downloaded the installer 9700. It's March 2017. I'm just going to sort of install it for you to show you very quickly. So do a full install. Obviously read our licensing, which is mandated. I accept my license agreement. And this has been brought to you by a number of developers, and Hugh, myself, William, Pete, Kent, Chris, Theo, Frank, Bill. I mean, just loads of people. Okay, all right. I'm just going to take all the defaults. Okay. Now, just to prove to you that I'm not fudging this all up, okay, I'm actually going to delete my C drive, okay, not my C drive, this folder here, okay. Right, so I just deleted everything on this machine, and I'm just going to install everything. I'm going to store everything, all the options. Right, first thing, take everything. Right, this time you can choose what you like. Right, first, notice I've got a new tool, PPSTool for microchip controllers. I'm going to come on to that in a minute, okay. Okay, it's installing the software, and whilst we're here we can have a look at various different options that we're going to be going through. So you can see on my desktop here I've got the IDE from Microchip MPLAB-X and other programmers, but we're going to try and use other tools today. So what have I got attached? I got attached down here on my left hand side there we go. It's a for those who don't know it, it's actually a express board from Microchip, and basically what we've got is a couple of LEDs in here. Right? We can see these LEDs. We've got a switch, a pot, and other bits and bobs which we're going to be using in a minute. I'm just going to get a screwdriver from my toolkit. There we go. Got a screwdriver from the toolkit. Put that there. And does that actually do anything? We'll find out later on. Okay, all right. So how's it getting on installing? Okay, that's neat, done it. Okay, notice the install's got a little bit bigger. Okay, so what have we got in here? We've got this new PPSTool, which we're going to have a look at in a minute. Okay, first production release. Use the forum, obviously. We've got new libraries for slave, state engine for slaves. We've got various fixes. We've got a new handler for PPPS. I'll tell you that. We've got bugs that have been fixed in AVR. It just carries on in terms of new GCL graphics, LCD drivers, etc., etc. Lots to be read. Okay, now let me just show you once it gets installed what happens. Right, if you want to know what's changed, read this thing here called the release text. Okay, this is today's update. Okay, and these are the. Let me have a little look in here. These are approximately 30 different items. Okay, these haven't been implemented yet. Okay, they will be implemented at the next release. So what have we got? We got some fixes. We got some new stuff. So we've got a new compiler priorities, which I'll show you in a minute. Fixes to the installer. Fixes to various system files. We've got new capabilities. We've got all new .dat files because we want to get the quality up. We've got a new graphics driver that supports SPI. We've got new serial drivers, new functions, new demos, new. There's so much stuff that's new. Okay, where do we start? Let's just close everything down, and then we'll start at it. So I'm going to close everything down, close all, and I'm just going to take and first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to edit my batch file. This is everyone has to do this, okay? All right. I'm going to be using the express board, so I just need to uncomment this, okay? And then if you look at the bottom of this thing, look, I'm sorry, if you look at the bottom of this, there's a thing called end. So you can just put, if you don't want to play with the rest of it, I just do this. Look. Now that's just going to tell my code to program my express board that's attached next to me, okay? All right, don't need that anymore. That's that sorted. Okay, let's just grab a demo just to see what's working, okay? So here's all the demos. I'm going to go to vendor board, express evaluation board, and I'm just going to do a demo here. Okay, all right. I'm just going to load this up to make sure everything's working okay. For those who can't see, that is rotating at some ridiculously high speed. There we go. There we go. Lovely. So it was working. We know we've just programmed that thing because it's just powered up. So let's look at some of the new features. Okay. If I create a new file, and I'm just going to take a basic header for a chip, right? It happens to be the 1855, right? Okay, it just happens to be that. So let me just show you some of the stuff that's cool. Now, we've been hard coding this, not hard coding, but been providing you the PPS stuff up to now. But let's just delete that for a moment, right? Because I'm going to show you the new PPS tool. Click this icon up here, new icon. It loads in a set of XML files, and it's selected my correct chip, the 16F. I want the 16F. It's actually the same in terms of F and LF. Okay, what do I want to do? I just want to put something on the screen here. Okay, so there's a PPS output. I'm going to select the transmit. Now, if I've actually got the I've got the little handout here, and I can look down here on my PCB, and I can see that the transmit's on RC0. This one RC0, and if I want to add that into here, I get this set of PPS commands. I can copy that, put them into there, and now I can paste them back into my program. Now, first big change, okay, for those who are users, standard users, we've got you can actually now have an init PPS, and you can now call this, and it was the first thing it will load. Okay, now other libraries have different numbers behind them now, so this is priority 85, there are priority 80s and 90s, and this is to ensure that the PPS is initialized before certain modules like I2C, IC2 even, and then you need to have a priority, and I'll just show you that in a minute how it all works. Okay, but in this case it's going to call it priority 85, and that's a good number for init PPS. Okay, with experience. Okay, in here I've got the rest of it set up, so if I come into here, I just put a wait 100 milliseconds. I'm just going to go H serial print. Hello world. I think they might clear it out. Okay. Right, we need to save it. I'm going to have to put that, save it somewhere, obviously. I'll put it in my temp drive because I want to dump this afterwards. Right, let's just hex and flash that. Now, so what I've done, I've showed you a new PPS tool. Okay, and we're going to bring up a terminal. Happens to be on COM3, I know that. I'm going to press the reset button down here, and I've got yep, that's that thing coming up. I've got an E print. What have I done wrong? I did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. I just wasn't patient enough. Okay. Okay. So if I just reflash that again, go back into my terminal, clear that down. And the problem was that I was a little bit too fast. Okay. So you can see it's working. So look, what I've shown you very quickly is that you've got a new tool called PPS. Now, if you want to come into here and then do things like, okay, I want an input. I want to have an SDI input for I2C. I'm going to put that on C3. I think that's the correct one. And then I want to have a clock for that on C4. I can add that. You can see like it's building it up. And you just cut and paste it in now. This is faster than using MPLAB, I must say. It's quite clever. So I can then copy that in, and I've got my configuration. I know that on this board the RC3 is the DAT, so if I got that wrong, I can quickly recreate the whole structure. As you can see, I'm just looking at my diagram down here. The SDA is on 3, and I've got the SDA on 3, so that will work. Okay, I can then cut and paste that into my cut and paste buffer, and then just paste it into my program. So this is a major new feature that we want to get out there. You can see the chip here, and Pete Everett's done a great job on this. Okay, if you want to lock it and unlock it, you just select this check here, and again you can play with that to your heart's content. So I wanted to show you some really quick stuff here. Okay, some of the demos are pretty spectacular. We use the express board as an example. Okay, so this demonstration is a demonstration of how to use some of the other modules inside of these microcontrollers. So let's try and just hold that down there. I'll get my screwdriver on it. Now that is dimming up and down. Now how it's doing that is using the CLC module, which has also been programmed. So we've got the settings for the CLC module in here, and you can learn how to use CLC with the standard settings for Breakdown Basic. What else have we got that's new? If we have a quick look in the help, that will give us some clues what's new in here. Okay, so we've got a get user ID. Chris Roper wrote this. You've got a get user ID set of functions, so you can get the ID of the chips coming through. You've got a new section on a new capability for software optimized RS-232. This is high speed. Bill's got it up and running. It's blindingly fast. These commands are not compatible with the old one, but what I mean by that is they're much easier to use in terms of performance. Okay, so there's a set of commands called serial 1 send, 2 send, and 3 send, and you set them up slightly differently, but they're optimized for speed and size. Okay. SSD 1306 has been changed. The SSD 1306 graphics LCD driver has been updated by Kent. We've now got SPI. Okay, so we now support I2C and SPI in here, and here's the settings for that. It's very simple. We've actually added in revised the LCD driver. Okay, why is that important? Because it's a 2-wire driver and that's been updated in the code. New functions. You've got a set of new functions in here. You can now get numbers in longs, where before you could only get bytes and words. Okay. Now this is important. We've added in on interrupt a thing called port change. Okay. And in here it's port change. Now any of the ports, right, A through to F, that have been changed will raise this event in future. It's a generic port change. Okay, you must inspect the source to ensure you're handling the correct interrupt. Okay, so rather than use a change or a B change or a BC change, we've now introduced, hence the new DAT files, port C change. So, but you've got to test what your interrupt source is, but it makes it a lot easier to capture interrupts. Okay, all right. Pulse in inverted has been updated. Now, coming back to this. Startup changes. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so startup now has a priority behind it. Okay, and it's actually used to insert initialization routines in a specific order that you want. Okay, init.sys has a priority of 80. That's the lowest number. If you put something below 70, it will run before init.sys. Low-level comms all have a priority of 90. Other subroutines have a priority of 100, so you can actually prioritize where they get called now in the startups. Now, this is important because the one I was using was 85 for my PPS because that will come after InitSys and before something like I2C. So you can actually then say I've got InitSys at 80, PPS at 85, and I2C at 90. You just know that now the chip's going to be initialized correctly, the PPS will be set up, and then the libraries will start to crack in. So you just have to specify your startup with a number at the back end. Hence, that's why it's quite a major change to what we're the release. Okay. You've got revised timer setups, okay, and I've added in a maintenance section so you know how to maintain things, okay, and things just carry on in terms of, all right, oh, let me just find that section for you, okay. So I've added in a whole lot of sections here, how you actually install things, etc. Okay, you might want to have a look through this. But the basic thing is that we've added in PPS on the user interface. We've actually got rid of some entries in here. Okay, lots more demonstrations quite clearly. So let's have a quick look at that README list. What else should I have told you? There's obviously corrections and fixes for Linux, I can see. And we've put back all the LF files that were missing, okay? We did delete them on purpose. We put them all back, okay? All right. We've revised and put back, revised the functions LSL and LSR to actually support overloading, which saves a lot of memory, okay? All right. But you know, essentially what you've got is a complete new build. The installer fixes a lot of problems in Windows 10 that were occurring, and I've actually shipped out the code for this state engine for the slave library. Now, I haven't done this alone. A lot of people have been involved in this quite clearly, and they will continue to be involved as we go forward. So I'm showing you version 9.7. It says 20th of February here. It's actually going to be March before I get it out because I'm going to fix one or two little things. But I thought I'd get this video done and dusted before I get too busy. But you know, we've got some great tools now. It is faster to flash that LED than using MPLAB. Let's have a go. Let's flash an LED using let's flash an LED. I'm going to just take a copy of that, and I'm going to create a new job, right? Okay. So I just took that. I'm going to say port. So you want to play the how long does it set? How long does it take to actually? I'm actually typing slower here then. Let me just do the direction here. Actually, I don't think I need that, to be honest. I think I can do it quicker. I reckon if I do that, it will be fine. Got to save it. So how fast can you do something? It's always a good test, isn't it? Yeah. LEDs just come on. We don't need many lines. I don't even think you need that now. I think it's got so optimized. Yeah, that's come on. So if I want to prove to you, I don't think you need much now to actually get this stuff working. Look at here, you'll see another LED come on there. I've got only one on. Let me just try that. Do you know what? That ain't bad, okay? And if you wanted to do something clever, how long does it take you to flash something? If only I could type better, it would be great, wouldn't it? Yeah. So you want to flash something? How about that? Does that work? That's because I haven't set the direction first. Look. Okay. Yes, sure is, of course. I didn't bed you now. That's great card basic for you. Let's call that a wrap.